Welcome to the In and Outer Blueprint Show, where we break down the mindset and the mechanics required to build a business that serves your life and not the other way around. Every week, we give you the inner game to dominate your personal growth and the outer blueprint to scale your financial success. This is episode 1, and we are diving into how to be a truly leveraged entrepreneur. Let's get started. Today, I have a guest who holds a very special place in my journey. He's more than a digital entrepreneur. He's an early mentor, phenomenal husband, and one half of a digital power couple. You can find Crush It across all platforms. His name is Domo. Alongside his wife, they built incredible scalable businesses. I met Domo years ago. We clicked instantly, exchanged numbers, and unlike most networking contacts, I actually followed up. Dom mentorship was pivotal in those early days. He's an expert in creating products that sell themselves, leveraging the Legion giants like Myron Golden and JT, and most importantly, living a life of purpose alongside his partner. Domo, welcome to the In and Outer Blueprint Show.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. As I'm sitting here, I'm excited because, like, to be a part of this, and then you said episode 1, I'm really excited, man. I'm happy to be here. So, man, big up yourself, brethren. I appreciate that.
I thought it was important to have you on to skip this to episode 1 because I said you was important. You was pivotal in my journey.
Yeah.
In the days when I was traveling and trying to figure out what I was doing in my head and trying to bring it to, to now. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, man. I know you sent me a guideline. Just it's your show. Tell me what you want to know.
Right.
I'll just follow your lead on it.
We're going to start with the inner blueprint, the non-negotiables of mindset and personal growth that fuels the business mechanics. And this is part 1, the inner blueprint, mindset, and mentorship.
Whole new version, different person, bitch, I'm brand new. Got exquisite on the ass and tits, them bitches branded too. Got a thick little bitch, know that ass, and boo. With that throat, where she go, had to get a sample. I ain't trying here, she bad if that pussy trampled. Stamped in the hood, passport, stamp too. Know that hate be real, don't think love is love. Niggas think they got me food, must be off they drugs. Let me pop off.
So I'm going to start with question 1. And question 1 is, what was the moment or key realization that helped you shift from the go-getter mentality to the more sustainable and abundant go-giver mentality? And what was the personal benefit of that change?
Say that question again. So basically, how I switched from go-getter to go-giver?
Yeah. How did you switch from the mentality of being a go-giver over being a go-getter?
Man, that's a good question. Looking back, I think what I've realized is the people who I see who are doing it on a high level, they give more, and then in return, they eventually get more.
Okay.
So, when you're dealing with people, think about it. If you go through your phone, you call somebody call you, and you look at the number of somebody who called you, first thing you're asking yourself is, what does this person want?
Right.
And if the person is calling you to put something in your life, or they're calling to pour into your cup, or they're calling to fill you up, you answer that call.
Okay.
But that person is calling you to ask you for money.
Is
asking you for, like, yo, can I borrow something? You're already stressed out. You don't want to pick up the call because you're like, yo, this person always taking.
Right.
So not always, I just learned that what's a way that when you call people, they will pick up your phone call. So it's a little bit of integrity, a little bit of honor. It's like when you call me, we haven't spoken for a while.
Right.
But I want to pick up your call because you've given a lot to me. You get what I'm saying? You've given friendship, opportunity to service your business, conversation, mindsets, and we connected when we first spoke. So when you called, it wasn't like, I didn't feel like it was a costing conversation. I felt like it was more of, you're going to pour into me and I'm going to pour back into you. And in a way, it's an exchange. We both sharpen each other. That's just how I look at it. I look at it when people call me, do I feel like they're taxing me? So I just make sure when I call somebody, they don't feel like I'm taxing them, more like I'm giving.
So that's the personal benefit, pouring in, like getting the energy, pouring in and out of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people, man, when they move through life, they focus on I, me, my.
Right.
What's in it for I? What's in it for me? What's mine? And I was just taught to focus on you, yours, ours, we. How can we? Whenever I interact with somebody, I want to make sure they leave with more than I interacted with them with.
Right.
So it's just a principle where, you're doing that right now. When you make your clothes, even though somebody's paying you for the merch, they leaving with more than what they paid for.
pay for, right?
And then you also giving them stuff as far as information and game with it. So they leaving with way more than they pay for, and that's business.
Right, trying to over deliver.
Trying to over deliver. Yeah, yeah. So, I realize that that's one of the best qualities to have because you can move through rooms a lot faster and have more impact with everybody you touch.
Right.
So, this is how I move through life.
Right. So that's a part of just growth, period. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, cause the first thing you be taught is like, try to be selfish, be like, chase, go get. And then like, as you learn, you be like, nah, it's time to give. You know what I mean? Cause I
Okay.
got something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Look,
a natural thing that
I,
comes along with having.
Go-getters, they always thinking about what's in it for me. What am I gonna get out of this?
Right.
Go-givers are always thinking, hey, if I can give, I'm gonna get back mine regardless.
Right.
Because we not talking about cause and effect. We not talking about reaping and sowing. The farmer don't say, yo, how can I get more tomatoes? He said, how can I plant more tomatoes? Because I know I'm gonna get tomatoes.
Right.
If I plant one apple, I'm not expecting to get one apple. I'm expecting to get a tree full of apples.
Full of apples, right.
So it's the same thing with people. When you sow into people, they give you back 10 times.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Cause I had a problem with people just wanting to drain you for your information. And I thought, I felt the kind of way about people calling for information but not calling for service.
Yeah.
And that was becoming a problem for me. It was making me like feel like I had to treat people in a different type of way. And then, how do you feel about that when that happened?
So the people that call you for information, do they know that you charge for that information, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people who are calling you for information, do you have an offer listed to say, hey, I charge $500 an hour for coaching and consulting, right? Or do they just know you as, hey, Coy did this, so I'm gonna ask him what he did to do it. So sometimes we in the business of the thing, we not in the business of selling the information. And I'm okay with giving information. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I think the biggest part about it is when you give people the information is what it is. The information, they can Google it, they can chat GPT it, but when you get in it, you're basically helping them shortcut that.
Exactly.
And that's really what your specialty is. You're showing people how to miss the potholes. You're showing them how to avoid the mistakes.
Right.
And I think if you position yourself for that, you could give them 1, 2, and then you could charge for the rest.
No, that's true. That's a good. And you know what? I'm gonna take that. That's what I'm gonna. Cause like you said, my service is showing them the way, the shortcut.
Yeah.
That first time, because it might have took me a couple times to go around the block, but when you come to me, I'm gonna teach you how to go straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in today's world, like I was talking to my brother about this, in today's world, there's no shortage of information.
True.
Right? Back then we had Google, but just last year, 2 years ago, 2 years now, 3 years now, we now have AI.
Right.
And you can go to your phone, any one of them, Copilot, ChatGPT, any one of them. Yo, how do I do XYZ? So somebody might look at that and say, why would I pay you for the information when I could get the information from AI? Go get it from AI.
Right.
You can't get it from AI.
What I learned is you gotta learn how to talk.
Right.
You gotta learn how to talk.
The way you talk to the AI and how I talk to the AI is different. So we're not gonna get the same information. And then what I realized too is people don't have an information problem. They have a taking action problem.
A taking action problem. That's true. That's so true. And how to take action, like, you know what I'm saying? I call it now is like I use my scrap paper. I call it scrap paper. Before I was just going off the limb, you know what I mean? And just getting things right. And either way is wrong because you don't have the information.
So you got the information, but then the information you got is not the right information.
Exactly.
You taking action on the wrong information, and then you got nobody to hold you accountable or say, yo, that's not how you do it.
It's like you're gambling. You're gambling. Every time. You just keep gambling. You keep gambling your investment. That's too much. It's too much we got to be gambling. So that's why we got you here down, because I don't want these guys out here gambling too much. You know what I mean?
Shop exclusive apparel. We got these new sweatsuits, 2 different styles, 3 different colors. Shop now.
But I'm gonna get into the second question, and question 2 is: you've been in high level rooms with mentors like we said earlier, Myron Golden, JT, Nehemiah Davis, him 500. How has being in them rooms, the energy, the environment, helped you grow personally and professionally in ways you couldn't achieve alone?
I think the first thing, because I'm from New York, and when we came down to Georgia, the first thing I realized was I see people that look like me crushing it. I see people that look like me making 100K, 200K, a million, 5 million, a million a day.
Right.
And to me, that blew me away. Because I was like, yo, they're doing it through business. They're doing it through servicing people. They're doing it through helping people. So what that did was I always knew it was possible, but I never got the opportunity to be in proximity. Right. So now once I got in proximity, it was like I learned that you're either going to have to pay to play or you're either going to have to serve your way in. And there were times when we ain't had no money, so I had to serve my way in. I had to go volunteer to do certain things. And then what happened then is just you just get a back seat to see how people move. So a lot of it, I would say it really is kind of like an apprenticeship. Like most people go get a job, they get a job somewhere and they get a job and they count the money. But when you serve, you're not getting paid to serve. So what's your pay? Your pay is the backdoor access to the information and the resources that you see and that you hear and that you learn.
The shortcut.
Shortcut, right? Which is a quantum leap at the blueprint. You're like, oh, so it's like you learning without learning.
Exactly.
You learning without them teaching because you just watching.
Exactly.
So the best thing those things do by coming across some of those people was I had the opportunity to learn and I had the opportunity to learn quick. And I feel like we don't have a lot of that in just in our environments. Like depending on where you live or where you come from, somebody's not going to give you the opportunity to see behind the scenes of the operation.
Exactly.
You know, so it changed the game for us. It changed the game for me and my wife because we was able to see a whole bunch of stuff. How people set up events, who they call for events, how they get balloons, how they get trucks, how they sell it. I'm like, oh, they're about to make the offer now. Oh, snap. How much they made? So you see the whole thing from U-Haul truck to set up to break down to back down. You see the whole thing.
Right.
It just made my brain pop, man.
The craziest thing, speaking of like seeing these people make the money in a day and like stuff like that, I was on a Zoom call, like we on a Zoom call, and I seen Neo on that call, and like when he made his offer, like I mean, like he spun the block a couple times and lowered the price. You know what I mean, as it got closer, and it was like people was in there for whatever they felt the blueprint was worth. You see what I'm saying? Some people saw it, or I put it like this: he got to serve people how they felt they was valued. I mean, if you was high profile and you wanted to spend it like that, he had the package for you. If you was small, medium, large, whatever, he had it for you. He had it all lined up.
They got it.
And we always in the same room on calls. I seen him have people on the screen while we at the event, and that was like a different price and a different, you know what I mean, thing. And we always there.
Webinar price, right? You got the webinar price people, you got the VIP people, you got the people that came in a day early because they want to do a mastermind people.
Yeah,
so you read at every level.
And for me, it helped my business a lot too, because I was able to, connect with people like you, connect with and see, like you said, see the inner game, because I was in the VIP for a couple of them events, and it was major. And I was able to even test myself. That was the most important thing for me, was to be able to test myself in a different environment with different people and still have the same confidence and, stature. Like, I mean, as I walk in the rooms and stuff like that, to see, for me, it was like, damn, is I'm worthy. And when I got down there, the embracement and the love that I got, I was able to, sell merch and network and still communicate with many people. So it was definitely a good experience. It was worth it to get in the room.
Look at it. Look at this too, right? I remember when Neo, I learned a lot from Neo too. Shout out to Neo, right? Because I remember we took his event space course back at the top of COVID. And I remember he had a program. And at the time, his program was, I think it was like either $1,000 or like $2,000. Can't remember exactly. But I remember bumping into him again at another event.
I paid $5.
Right. Another event. And I was in this event and I bumped into him and I said, yo, Neil, I got to ask you a question. And he said, what's up? I said, I remember when you were charging like $1,000, $2,000 for your program. How did you go? Because the event I went to, they were charging 50. I said, how did you go from 2 to 50? And he said, easy. Pay somebody 50.
Right.
And that right there it just made it click for me.
Right.
Because at the time, I wanted to go from 5 to like 25. I wanted to go from 500 to 2,500. And now where I'm at today, I just paid somebody 7,500 to be a part of her mastermind. So that's the mastermind I got at 12. I paid her $7,500.
Right.
You also, if you paid Neo 5 to get in his program,
Yeah, I paid
I have no problem charging somebody 5.
5. That's what I'm saying.
Because you know what a $5,000 program is supposed to look like.
Exactly.
And you're like, bro, if I could have did it,
And I was in that back door. Like I was there. Like
I'm not gonna force you to do it.
yeah.
If you want it, you will figure it out.
You'll
But
figure it out.
let's believe it will benefit you. And I did it, man. I paid somebody 2,500, and then boom, I raised my prices to 2,500. And then I paid somebody 5, I raised my prices to 5. And paid somebody 6, took my price to 6. And now I just paid somebody 75. Now I'm gonna take my prices to 10. Right? So
oh yeah, that's good. I like how that goes. So like I done paid, like I'm charging. I mean it's Black Friday. I mean I'm gonna have a seasonal thing, but I'm looking to double my prices. Cause
but
I
that's
pay.
giving too.
But you know what I mean, cause like you said, it's all you pay how you weigh. You know what I mean? That's what it seems like. You pay how you weigh.
Yeah.
You
But look,
pay
that's a go giver though, Coy.
yeah.
Because if you give somebody 5,
Yeah.
you're not getting 5.
Exactly.
You're giving 5. So the giver will always be a getter.
I get it. Yeah.
Because if you pay 5, now you know everything about how 5 charts supposed to look. You know the email they're supposed to get. You know how you felt when you paid it. You know the results you're supposed to get. And if you paid somebody 5 and the service is garbage, you're like, I paid 5 for that.
Right.
So now you do it better. You're like, oh, my service is worth 10 because they need garbage for 5.
That's crazy. That's what made me start. Cause it was like, I didn't start because I felt like I was a brain in fashion. I started because I was paying like this and I wasn't getting the quality that I like. You know what I'm saying? Get your own. Do your own. Put your money into your own. That's what it really was. And it was like, okay. And as well as people coming and they stopping me for other people's what they call it, intellectual property, and I'm promoting it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Receiving nothing on the back end, my family receiving nothing on the back end. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if you like it, if you buy things that you like it. I still buy things that I like. But that was the reason for purchasing things and then don't be satisfied. It don't have enough input or just love put into it. So it was like I had to go do it myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Like absolutely everything you said is 100.
Yeah.
Everything you said is 100.
So So we're gonna get into question 3. Want to keep too long. Your wife is your business partner in life and entrepreneurship. How has having a spouse who shares your goals, dreams, passion, admiration function as an essential inner strength and accelerator for your businesses?
I look at a relationship a little different than most people. When I see relationships, what I see is this. I see, for example, I use a husband and a wife. It could be somebody who's dating too, but I use a husband and wife because financial dynamics sometimes are a little bit different. Somebody who's dating, they may not have shared accounts, they may not live together. But if somebody lives together with somebody and you may be what you call street married, or that's your lady because you've been together for a long time, but you're just not legally together, that counts for you too. When I look at most relationships, the husband works 40 hours going to the left and the wife works 40 hours going to the right. That's 80 hours combined leaving the house. It's great because the 80 hours bring back some change, but it's also 80 hours leaving your family to go build somebody else's legacy.
Right.
So in the beginning, we always said, can you just imagine if I give 1 hour a day and you give 1 hour a day? That's 5 hours a week from me, 5 hours from you. That's 10 hours a week for both of us back into us. And that's where we started. We just started giving 1 hour a day back into us. What does that look like? Hey, let's read this book. You read the book. I read the book. Let's talk about it. You go listen to this podcast about money. I listen to this podcast about money. And then we just started doing more. And eventually it just became 10 hours a week together, 20 hours a week together. Now we both do 40 hours a week together. So now we both do 80 hours for us. So when you look at that math, we're going to beat, not that we're competing, but we can beat a single person or we can beat a couple that work separately.
Right.
Because it's just more manpower, it's just more hours. So That's just how I look at a relationship. It could be a brother and a sister. Brother work 40, sister work 40. It's both of y'all working 80, leaving the family. If y'all just come together and y'all don't got to give 40. Each of y'all just give 5 hours a week. That's 10 hours that both of y'all putting on something, right? So I look at it as a cheat code. I look at it as a partnership cheat code. And that's just something that we figured out a long time ago. So it just has helped us with our business, helped us with our kids, helped us with we locked in because we locked in together for something.
Right. So it's like it's a different purpose. Like I said, sometimes you just do things naturally, and because I think how men move, it describe them as what type of man you are. Because we are men. I think we are types. Like we have definition of how we move. So it's just like the leader you are, the man you are, stuff like that. We share them qualities of family and building legacy. And when you want to do these things, the only way to really, I think that type of growth together financially and all that, that's very more important than a title. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're working as one.
You're working as one. That's the power of one.
You see what I'm saying? So like if you're not working as one, that's where the friction comes in by itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could be happy. We could be good. You could cook today. You could do this. You could do that. You can ask me about things like where it's like as one. And I think that's very important. No matter if you're going on a girlfriend level or just talking level. Because like you said, y'all working towards one thing.
One goal.
One goal.
Look at this, right? Check this, right? We hear the debate about all the time 50-50 relationship. And we hear some men say, I do 100, my wife, and some woman will say, stay at home. I don't want a 50-50 relationship. I want a man that take care of everything. If you look at the world though, that's not 90% of the relationships.
Right.
So there's TV goals and dreams and what TV show you and what a few men who made over, 300K, 400K, 500K, 95% of people don't make 100,000 or more.
Right.
So like there's reality, not saying reality is stuck in stone. It can change. So where I was coming from, where my wife was coming from in our family was never 50-50. It was never 100-0. It was always, because it's an immigrant family, mom and dad came here at the same time. In my case, I'm dad and dad came here. So I never had the opportunity to do 100 and my wife do 0.
Right.
That's just my relationship. And most guys don't have that opportunity because, bro, you're just trying to figure it out for yourself.
Exactly.
So how you going to now take care? You can't. So I never let what culture was saying to me got me confused. And I love my wife because she never let that get her confused too. Now, do I have a goal that I want to get to a place where I could be like, babe, you don't got to do nothing? Absolutely. Every man does that. But even in our business today, I don't think my wife don't want to do nothing because the stuff that we do is not manual, back-breaking labor anyway. She likes to help people. She likes to talk to people. You get what I'm saying?
Right. So what would you consider to be the real help? Like if somebody, like my girl, she jokes something, I can't wait to grow up and get a man that that can give me allowance. And it's like how you get that is how she's backing you, like empowering you. And I mean lifting you up in different ways. Like you share some of them things that she do. Like,
all right. So look at it like this, right?
Practice.
Look at it like this, right? Let's say you just started as an entrepreneur. You're either an entrepreneur or you have a 9-to-5. If you have a 9-to-5, how much money do you need to be making in your 9-to-5 to take care of everything in your living situation, right? You got to pay rent, mortgage, car. You need to make at least $5-6 grand a month on your own.
On your own, right?
On your own. Most dudes ain't making that.
Right.
And if they making that, you don't see them. So what happens now is you now have the business of marriage. Husband is making 4, wife is making 4. Together they come together, they making. What happens is they still making the 8K separate, doing separate things. So they counting the money based off of how much hours it took to make the money
separately. So they're connecting your twice.
So it's like my $4,000, I'm so connected to it because it cost me 40 hours of my life that I'll never get back. You know what I'm saying? It cost me so much of my life that I'll never get back. So don't tell me what to do with it. It's my money. But what they're really fighting about is the time that it took for them to make it. Right? So now you look at the flip side. Guy's an entrepreneur. He didn't get that breakthrough yet. If he didn't get that breakthrough yet, by you telling him to put you on allowance and take care of everything, you're going to bankroll the book.
Right.
You're going to go bankrupt.
And you're not a hustler and you're not a good partner.
he gonna go bankrupt.
Don't qualify because you need to have the qualities to pick this man up to be the best version of his man.
He gonna go bankrupt. The money got to go back into business. So you trying to have him take you out to eat 7 days a week?
7 days a week. Travel every chance. All these distractive things that you think for selfish purposes at that. Like you just taking from the table. You know what I mean?
The table not even fully built yet. It's like when somebody cooking and they keep taking out of their pocket for the
Yeah,
pot.
you in there at the chicken.
Yeah.
First round.
But if you said, you know what, babe, I see the business making 3,000, 4,000 a month. What skill set can I bring to the table? You know what? I really need somebody to go handle the social media part because I see there's a lot of people in the comments. I see that if we get more customers on the front end, and then wifey now, she go learn how to do social media marketing. You still moving the business. You still moving the brand. But she's telling you what to post. She handling the comments. She now driving the front part of the business.
Front part, yeah.
Right? So now the business income take off.
Yeah.
Now we could be like, all right, you're an asset to the business because you've helped the business take off, right? Most relationships, it's either the husband has a job and the wife maybe she's not making as much money, so she start a side hustle and then her side business take off and then she drag the husband in. Or it's the husband who do it on his own and he just make enough to take care of wifey. Right. I truly believe that God put something in every human being to be purposeful and impactful. And I don't think being a dependent on somebody 24/7 is being purposeful and impactful.
That's true.
You know, because as a human being, you just sitting around wasting your talents as a human being. Your husband taking
purpose in the relationship.
Yeah, but what's your purpose? But these are the women, this is my opinion, these are the women sometimes that really get cheated on. Because the guy doesn't need you for anything except what?
Except that partnership, that connection, right?
That's it. Because he doing all the work.
So he's going to go still seek for that.
He doing everything.
He has something with you, but he's seeking for the connection, and that's
for the connection.
Yeah.
So me and my wife, that's my workplace fling, right?
Right.
Also my fling at home.
Right.
She has to read a book on business. I'm reading a book on business.
Right.
So our problem now becomes balancing driving somewhere and talking about business. We could be coming out of church and talking about business. We could be at date night talking business. So it's like knowing when to turn it off and be like, all right, too much business. I need the husband role now. So I think some of the things that somebody can do is, one, look at the person who you're with and ask them what they need. What do you need from me as a partner? And what do you need in your business that I may be able to help with? And tell them what you need. They may not know how to do it today, but can they go learn it?
I mean, I call it just turning your eyes on. A lot of times we be walking around like this, and then one day you just be like, oh, snacks, I could have. My eyes always on. So it's like, if you do hair, I'm trying to figure out, listen, you want me to how do we get the hair? Is there oil that we can make? Like, you know where I'm at. My brain is always clicking. So it's like, I tell people all the time, turn your eyes on. A lot of times,
make it a business too.
Walking around blind.
Make it a business in your business. So now you have, if your girl do hair, listen, you my stylist.
You already know I did it. I got hair now.
I can put you on the books. I can put you on the book.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the part where as a team, as a dynamic duo team, you got to sit down and say, where are we going? How much money do we want to be making a month? How much vacations we want to take? What do we want to buy? What kind of car we want? What does that look like? How much is that going? What's the bill on that? And once you get that number, faster if I go at it by myself, or is it faster if we tag team it and get the job?
It's always faster with the help.
With the help, but the help
help.
You got to be real help, right? The help got to be committed. The help got to be like, the help got to be willing to help.
Yeah, got to be willing. Because a lot of times we be helping, but we be helping like how we want to help. You can't help how you want to help. You got to help over deliver. You got to help like this the person, you in their shoes. Like I just stepped in your shoes. So what I'm doing for you, I'm going to do it like I ain't do it for me.
Help me how you would help your job at your job.
Right. Do it like you're doing it for TV.
Don't play with it because it's me.
Do it like you're doing it for TV.
Don't play with it.
What's that on that beat? Nope. Baby girl, shake that. You gon' make me spank that. I'm trying not to break that. It's the big payback. Your mama gave you all that. You better not waste that. See you getting all latex. I see you fucking with the ballers in the
play because it's me.
We often see people try to buy their way into the top. Based on your experience, what are the genuine long-term benefits of working your way in versus simply paying for access?
Man, that's a good question. As somebody, I've done both. I've served my way in certain places, and I've also paid my way in certain places. I think they show you two different sides. The pay your way inside, you show up as like a client, and you get treated as a client, right? The serve your way inside, you are not really a client, but you get access to certain things, and you can ask questions. So I think each one serves a purpose. If you have your money, I always recommend you pay, because when you pay for things, because you had to release money, you now pay attention.
Right.
You pay attention and you take things a little bit more serious. When you go in and you volunteer and you serve, it's like you kind of get, if your mind is not right, you kind of act like you want a job, and you don't really pick things up. I'm just here to do my job and go home. So they both serve a different purpose. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to be in a position where you built your own personal brand, and then real now recognize real, where it's like, oh, I like what they got, this is what I got. Yo, we both giants, we both got something. Let's see how we could do something together.
Right.
So it's really three dynamics that I've seen.
So what about from the aspect of paying for something to get done, or learning the process? Like, what about from that?
There's some stuff you need to know. You have to be paying attention.
Right.
So you're paying with your attention. You're not paying with your money.
Right.
So I think that they both serve a purpose. I've done it on both sides. I've done it on sides where I paid for a problem solved, and I got it. And then once the problem was solved, that was it. The relationship.
Until you needed it to the problem.
Until you need it again, and you got to pay again.
Right. So the whole time it's almost like you feel like you win. You feel like you that, but then when it's over, it's like, oh yeah, here it goes, service again.
Pay again.
Pay nothing.
Because you a customer.
You said something happened. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the bill. Here's the bill. I got you. So you're in the relationship, but the relationship is you're paying for the relationship.
See, like for me, I had to learn how when is it time? Like you said, when is it time to cross over? It's because this is a relationship for me. Business is a relationship for me. I treat it like it's my lady. So when is it time for me to realize like I'm in these rooms? Like many times I've been in them rooms and I've been around and I wasn't ready for the information that I'm getting. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of time when we service our way in, like you was talking about this, you treat it like a job because you're not mentally where you need to be to service your way in. I call it when I'm doing my music, like we used to go out to the showcases and stuff like that. And at the end, somebody be like, so where can I find that? Like, I call it my address. You gotta have an address. That's why you have your own business, your own purpose. And it gotta be lined up because you can be somewhere and kind of like jump the line and don't be ready and then lose everything because you jumped the line. You're not there for this information, so you're not going to value this information or this place that you're at.
Right.
Because you're not mentally up there. You know what I mean?
That's you building your own personal brand and doing that along the way. Don't build their own personal brand along the way. So when it's time to do something, it's like, yo, what do you bring to the table?
Right. And usually at them bumps, like, it be certain bumps, like you make them impulsive decisions. You know what I'm saying? And you do something whereas like you paid to get in. And so now you don't got it. Now you got to service back in. And now when you service back in, it means something to you because you lost over here by not learning and not having enough to give. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted them to hear from that perspective because it's like when you bumping right there and you in business and you make a move, it's like now you can learn, you can service your way in, you can do other things, you can network, connect, all types of stuff. And
one thing too, I always tell people is if you want to build a relationship with somebody, go back to question number one, go giver or go getter. If you come into a relationship or you come into meeting somebody, most people's first mentality is, how can I get this person to invest in my business? How can I get information out of this person for me to better my business? How can I get? That's most people's perspective. But if you look at it and you study that person before you meet them, you say, all right, you go on their IG, you see what they're about. You go on their socials, you see what they're about. You're like, you know what? I have an idea that could benefit that person. So now when you see the person, instead of saying, yo, I got a business proposition for you, you say, hey, I've been watching your social and you're losing at least $1,000 a day. And I know how you could stop losing that money. That person's gonna look at you and be like, bro, what are you talking about? How am I losing $1,000 a day?
Tell me, give me the game.
Losing $1,000 a day because you have these comments, you making these posts are getting like 50, 60 comments, but the comments, people are asking you questions, but nobody's answering the comments.
Right, answering the comments.
So I went through your comments and these were the top 5 questions. I went and I used AI and I created a little program. I created a little digital book. You can send this book to them for free just to answer their question. And at the back of the book, I got a little call to action for them to book a call with you or to book a strategy session with your team so you could help them with the bigger problem that you solve.
Right.
So we don't want to give them another product to go service because maybe they don't have time and they don't want to pivot. But you could solve the problem for their people in the comments and then point them back to their offer and then just say, yo, that's why I say you're losing $1,000 because you're not answering those comments of people who asking you interested questions.
Right.
So a move like that person gonna look at you and be like, yo, this dude might be onto something.
Yeah, genius. Behind the scenes, he's a genius.
He's a genius, and then it don't cost them no work because you did all the work.
Yeah, and you got the blueprint form when they
like
our first calls. They're like our first call.
Go giver though, but it goes back to the mentality of a go giver. Only a go giver would think about it like that. A go getter is thinking, what can I get out of this relationship?
I get, and that's true. And man, I think like this was enough in a game for this is a million. This a million for him. But last and final question. Can you share your memory of how we met at the Atlanta Business Expo and why you decided to invest your time in me as an early mentee?
I think when we met, I think I was talking to somebody about something about Shopify or their website or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think I was talking to you. I was talking to somebody else at the table. Right. And you passed by and you was like, I need that. You was like, I need that.
You were listening. I was going to the bathroom.
Right, you was passing by, and I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "I need everything you was telling, dude. I need that. Like, let me get your number." And we exchanged numbers, and then you hit me up, and you had something. You had something, so you weren't starting from zero. Right. You took action. You already had a couple of things in play, and all I did was I said, "Oh, okay. Where are you trying to go? What do you want to get done?" And he was like, "Hey, this is what I got. I want to kind of do it more automatic. I want to kind of have like my homepage. I want to kind of have the brand to it. I want to have that little exotic feel to it. I want to show the luxury feel to it because we are exquisite apparel. I want that luxury vibe where I can just go out and just let people know this is where it's at instead of me just having the merchandise in my hand." Right. And, I did the site for you, but I think our relationship really builds. A lot of times I don't really build relationship with people. I just do the work and then we just moving. I think with you, our story's a little bit similar, like our background as far as growing up, not having our parents there. It was some commonality there. Right. And as we started to talk, it was like I was like, oh snap, he's just like me. You know what I'm saying? We kind of, you coming from a rough place, and we didn't use this is my circumstance, this is what it is, I can't change. It was like, nah, I'm gonna do something about it. And then I love your persistency, right? There's a couple times where I saw you and I'm like, yo, this dude is trooping. This dude is traveling like hundreds of miles away, and I'm servicing in some of those rooms, right? So my ticket is my time. My ticket, the relationship, I know somebody and they're like, yo, you want to come help out here? And I'm like, sure, I'll come for a couple hours. You traveling, you paying hotel fee, you paying Uber fee, you event fee. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, this dude is gonna go places because his mind is dead. His mind don't see walls. His mind don't see roadblocks. His mind don't see barriers. Right. And I saw your mindset before I saw you. Even now. So when I see people based on how they act mentally, it let me know if I want to keep the relationship. Right. So whenever I see you, I see persistence. I see mental toughness. I see job gonna get done. I see nothing could stop me. Right? Nothing could stop me. Don't matter what it is. I'm gonna break that shit down. So that's what I see when I see you. So it was just real, recognized real, because my mindset like that too.
Exactly. So, and me, like people don't know how to take that energy of me because a lot of times I don't have that serious like, oh yeah. Like a lot of times I say stuff to people and they just look at me like, yeah. Like, you serious? Like, you
Are you
see, you
serious?
gonna contact me when you go home, and we gonna make this website, and we gonna connect, and we gonna do. It'd be like,
Serious? You
I'll be like,
serious?
yeah, like I'm telling you, I need that.
Some
Like,
people jokers, some people
right,
talk, some people
right,
talk more than they act. So with that, with that, I'm big on. I love your show because I believe in the inner outer, right? I believe in the law of be do have. People have what they have because they do what they do, and for you to change what you do, you have to become the person to do the doing. And most people don't want to do the inner to get the doing to have.
right,
They just want to have. They just want to have. They just want to have. And then when you tell them what to do, they can't do because they got mental walls. They got mental prisons that they don't know how to get out of.
right,
So you have to go create the mentality for yourself. I feel like when I see you, you have the mentality. You may not know how to do the do, but you got your mind in the right places. So it's just now about aligning with the people who could kind of show you a thing, a little shortcut here and there, meeting the right people, and that will give you the acceleration. So I feel like that's more so our relationship. I
exactly.
was just somebody you met along the way where I was like, yo, dude is going places. So let me just see how I could just leave you with something for you to get to where you go. And then you just check for me. You know what I'm saying? You just get the loop. You just get the link.
And yeah, and I like the way you test me because in growth, people test you in ways like, handle this.
Handle this,
Like,
right? Hey,
can you do this? And you was like, yeah, like, do it. Let me see. And I'm like,
that
okay,
come
nah, it's done.
right.
It's done. And you're like,
Done, right,
oh, you did that
right,
today? Like, I
right,
did that today, Dom. Like, I want this
right,
like tomorrow. He like, I
right.
understand. You want it tomorrow. Either you
Yeah,
pay what you want. Like, this is
yeah.
gonna cost you. I'm telling you, you should learn. You got a family. You got things. And I remember that repeats in my head a lot. Like, so it's like, you don't even know. I talk to you on a regular, and we don't even talk.
It's
I'll be in
crossing the
here. I'll talk to
line.
my mentor. Cause they say listen, don't talk to nobody. Don't have no mentor. Don't have no type of teacher. Somebody in
Yeah,
front of me, like for them to do these type of things. Like, what would my
that's
mentor do?
facts.
What would he do
Facts.
in this situation? How would he handle that? What would he say? So a lot of times I'll be like, I don't even have to call him. I know what he's gonna say.
You know what I'm gonna say,
Boy,
bro?
man, listen, go tap in, man. Go learn.
Go
Cause
learn, man.
it's going to be a service and it's going to cost you like this. And you need to be servicing your family. You can teach them how to do that, empower the people around you and things like that. And I needed that, like, you know what I'm saying, to hear that. Because
Hmm.
being in them rooms, I realized I was ahead of myself a lot of times. You know what I mean? And that's
Hmm.
why I'm telling people now. A lot of times you think you're gonna meet this one person and they're
Hmm.
gonna save you, and no, you gotta do. Like now, I wanted to put a couple people on and like to be here and share some of this intellectual stuff, the growth. I seen people that I thought like needed this or wanted to talk, and it's like you can't make these things happen. Sometimes you have to do it, and then it'll attract who it's supposed to attract. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
What you have to do. You can't be looking for savior. You can't be looking for that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nobody out here to save you but you. You know what I mean? As far as putting the work in.
I'll share this with you, and then I gotta get up out of here, right? I'll leave you with this, right? My
Uh,
brother, my wife's brother, well, it's my brother too. His name is Paul. He taught me this a while back. This quote by Lawrence Scovel Shin, and she said, "No man is my enemy, no man is my friend, every man is my teacher." So you're learning from everybody.
right.
Some people learn, and some people, when they learn, eventually they drop the L from the learning and they start to earn. So that's why my philosophy has always been learn what you need to learn, because while you're learning it, it's working on you. You may not be earning on it right now, but you're learning something.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you're going to bump into somebody that is going to ask you the question to what you have learned, and you're going to have the answer. And you have a choice at that moment in time. You could build them and tell them the answer, or you can tell them the answer for free.
Right.
You will know when that time comes. So I think you asked me, when do you know to give stuff for free and when do you know to build? I don't make every decision on money. There's some stuff that people call me for, and I know I'm supposed to build them. I don't make every decision on money because I believe in the law of reaping and sowing. I believe that if I sow in you, money don't have to come from you, right? It's gonna come from the Most High. So I just always try to take care of people as much as possible, because when I bump into you, I want it to be love. I want it to be, yo, this guy right here, stand up guy, man. He gonna really give you what, I'm saying? So I don't always build people, but there's sometimes I'm like, yo, I gotta build you for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it is. Take it or leave it. So learn what you gotta learn, and when you're done learning, you start earning.
Some people are better reference than the bill.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you talk to them, and I've worked with a couple of people who ain't have the bread. And I'm like, yo, I got to bill you. Go get the bread. Because if I did it for you for free, you wouldn't have appreciated it.
And you ain't a good reference.
So I'm excited about what you got going on. Coy, this is where you need to go, because most people, when they create things and try to put it into the market. But when you're creating this way, what you're doing is you're creating your own market. People who are for you will always find you. Most people just try to find people, but this right here will make you findable for the right people. So now you're no longer looking for customers. Customers are spending time with you through these videos, through these audios, through these lessons. And then they be like, you know what, I just learned a lot. But now it's the consistency of the game.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir, man. I'm glad to be here. Coy, I appreciate it. Give me a shout, whatever you need, I'm here. And if anybody want to get in contact with your boys, the entrepreneur couple, the one and only, all over.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And that's a wrap on the Inner Outer Blueprint Show, episode 1, with the amazing Domo. We've unlocked the inner blueprint of mentorship and the outer blueprint of creating a small, medium, and large offer stacked for perpetual income. Remember, you don't get rich by running faster. You get rich by building an evergreen asset. Stop doing the hustle. Start building a legacy. Until next time, go out there and execute your blueprint. I'm at it.